Welcome back to the QLZ Green Room. It's been busy, and we have somebody who's returned. We have ZouZou from Soraia. How are you, Zoo?
I'm good. I'm good. I just added
So,
from the dead to that one.
well, we've been talking about a whole lot of stuff. At some point, I kind of want to do like an outtakes thing at some point and play it back for some people and be like, if you want to know what really happens before we talk to bands, this is
It's
what
the
we're talking
interview
about.
before the interview is what it is.
hmm Anything from Diablo sauce. We were talking about height, getting hit in the neck by people who are shorter than us when we hug
Oh
them, or on
God,
my shoulder,
really?
it hits people in the forehead.
Yeah.
You played pickleball recently too. So
Pickleball,
tell me
ghost
about your
peppers.
pickleball experience.
I really enjoy pickleball. I'd never played pickleball before, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, you want to play pickleball?" And this is a good friend of mine, Jen, who we played tennis. All of a sudden, I was a tennis player during COVID, the early months of COVID. All we did was play tennis, like the spring of 2020 into the summer. So she's like, "Hey, you want to play pickleball?" I'm like, "I don't know what that is." She goes, "It's like tennis." I'm like, "Cool, let's do it." And so we did, and it is like tennis, amazingly,
Mhm.
except you're using like this really hard wiffle ball kind of thing, and then almost like ping pong,
Yep.
like rackets. It's fun. I liked it.
We played it. This is a crazy thing. So when this became a craze a couple years ago,
Uh-huh.
we played this in my gym class in like middle school and high school, and I just thought I
Pickleball?
thought that's yeah.
Dude, you know what? She told me the same thing. She said it's been like really a popular thing. I'm like, has it?
Mhm.
She's like, yeah. Is it popular again? Was it popular
Oh yeah.
before? Jeez,
It,
where have I been?
it kind of around like I think COVID area, like a little bit after COVID. So like our YMCA here does pickleball leagues.
What is happening?
You have to check
So
with
I
your
came
local
in
Y.
late. So wait,
Mhm.
it's 2025. So this started in 2020?
Probably more like 2022, 2023-ish, kind of around
Wow.
there. Kind of really gained a lot more popularity. You're not too far off the
That
game of
feels
it.
good. 2 years, 3 years, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm still in the loop, as they say.
Yes. You are. And I know you came out with us probably about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago when you had some new tunes out.
Yeah.
More new tunes from you guys. We've got you starting in rotation this week. We've got you in the Air Spotlight on Friday. You shared some stuff with me that you said you and I have known each other for I think going on 6 years now, like right before COVID kind of
Yeah.
happened. We've shared a whole lot about our lives with each other and the kind of stuff we've
Yep.
gone through. You kind of came to a crossroads as a band. You're doing stuff independently, and you found this comfort level that you guys found you kind of had to break out of. So tell me, this journey being independent, really looking at you and Travis and Brianna, and really just being like, hey, what do we do moving forwards? Tell me about like what this experience has been like.
Yeah, I think I've been feeling it for a while, and I think sometimes also like let's not downplay like the relevance that like COVID played on all of us. If we're honest about it, like coming out of that was a very strange time, and going back into it, and then coming back out of it. And I think I didn't really evaluate anything at that point. It was just nice to be playing again. And then as time went on and we were writing more songs, I did feel like, especially I think between 23 and 24, sometime I started to feel like, I wouldn't say bored, but I kind of like, it wasn't like, oh, I know what I'm doing and I have a confidence. And it was like this feeling of like, I need something more. And it wasn't that I needed to not be in my band. I love my band. It's a rare thing to be working with your best friends and growing together like this. And, so I believe in Soraia as a group of people, but also as musicians and artists. And I feel like all of us were feeling that and just not talking about it because it was scary,
Yeah.
because you start going like, well, you start like evaluating, like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing with these people and all this? And there was just this redundancy to it. I don't know how else to say it. It was like we were kind of staying like, I wouldn't say stagnant. That might be too harsh of a word, but it just felt like nothing was changing and we needed a change. But we couldn't really put our fingers on it. And then in 2023, the end of 2023, a mutual friend of ours, when we were touring Sweden, called us to a meeting. And I knew it was a meeting because he was a producer we'd worked with here and there, just, some singles in Sweden, just a friend, mutual band kind of guy. And he's like, "You're 20 minutes late." And I was like, "No one cares if we're late to anything. What are you talking about? We're 20 minutes late." He's like, "Well, I have to talk to you about something." And he's like, "I want you guys to work with Tomas Skogsberg." And I was like, production? And he's like, yeah. So it was like this whole thing, like why he thought we needed to make this change and why he thought we needed to do this. And it was just kind of like synchronous because I had been feeling like I loved our producer, but I also worked with him for 3 records and 8 singles. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
we had done the same process with every song and every record, and it worked, but it got to a point where it felt artistically, it felt like we were making the same decisions in the studio. There wasn't anything like inspiring about it. It wasn't like him. It was just we needed a change. And we were scared to leave what we knew, but at the same time, when we had written this group of songs that are on this upcoming EP, So Holy being the first single of it, I knew when I thought about who were we going to produce with, I was like, we got to go to Tomas. Like, we got to move. You know what I mean? I just knew
Mhm.
how the songs came out that I needed someone else and I needed a different ear on our stuff. And I thought at that point, I thought we have nothing to lose. And the whole band was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, they were hungry too. They just didn't say it, I guess. So we went there and I was like, what's the worst that can happen? And it was like amazing. He was phenomenal. And it was interesting because he didn't change anything we did, and at most producers we work with have. He added to it, and I don't know how else to put it except that that's what happened. And he was a really great person to work with as artists, and he heard something different in us, and he heard what we heard. So we were excited to make that change. So
It's funny you mentioned nobody calls me out for being 20 minutes late. Now, like I said, you and I have known each other for a lot. I know you're always rather easygoing whenever you and I chat. It's just,
yeah.
it's chill, it's laid back. Obviously being in a band is a little bit different. Kind of, what was it like for you to be challenged? Did you like it? Because it's been kind of some bands talked to over about the last year or so. It's like they never really, we're kind of waiting for somebody to challenge me. And like at first, it's like we're taken aback a little bit, but then once we accept it, hey, let's go. So how did you like being challenged at first?
I liked it. I think for us, for me, I'm going to just speak for me. Even though I know I always try to speak for the band, but really I needed it. Like I needed somebody to hear something different in me, hear a different possibility, hear what I heard, validate it, and also bring me up to a level where something else was expected. One of the things that he did working with, you know, and I feel like you get to a point where you end up meeting who you're supposed to meet. You know what I mean? At that time when you're
Mhm.
supposed to meet them. And it was very much this because one of the things he said is, I don't, the producer, Tomas said, is I don't use auto tune. And I was like, huh? And he's like, I don't use auto tune. Like, I'm not going to fix anything. And I was like, huh, okay. It's like, isn't that like bad? Like, I'm not going to hit every note perfect. He's like, I want to capture your band as you really are.
Mhm.
And that's scary because, for a while I'd say a long while, not that everything's auto-tuned, but there's this way of recording that we've always done that's always been um I don't know, it's kind of like we've been a part of it, but we haven't been in like we've been in it, but we
Mhm.
haven't been in it. I don't really know how to say it without sounding like derogatory towards our past recordings because I'm very proud of them. But it's a different as an artist, it's a different feeling to be he's saying he this is what he'd say. He'd just be like, um, do it again. And he wouldn't say like you're flat, you're sharp.
Mhm.
So I would just be like, okay, I don't even know what he's looking for. Like, is he looking for more anger or more verve or like less or like, and so finally I'd get to this point. I'd be like, what do you want to need me to do? He's like, I just need you to sing it again. And I would be like, I don't know what that means. So I needed that challenge, like I'm not leaning on anything or anyone. And this is, and this could be great or it could be crappy. But why not? Or just as an artist, why would you not go after that new experience and see
Mhm.
how it comes out? And so, rolling the dice is a scary thing for anybody that's had any even modicum of success, I guess, because you have a comfort level in what you do, and a confidence in what you do. And when it's done differently, it is a little scary, but it's also necessary, I think.
Well, good for you for embracing it, for going for it. And like you mentioned, "So Holy" is the first track that you've all put out from the new upcoming EP. I know it's you having a lot to say on the track, and I like it because it's the grittier side of all of you. And I know, like you and I have talked about "Tight Lipped." "Tight Lipped" is probably one of my favorite songs you've put out. "So Holy's" up there now too because I like when you're reaching into the grittierness and some of the hard hittingness from all of you. So what do you want to share about the song? I know you've talked about it, quite a bit and gotten out there, kind of how it came about, but what's something you'd like our listeners to know about it?
I just want you to know it's like this. It's just genuinely how I feel about like the state of everything in the world. Like I'm just angry about it. I'm angry, and I'm like, I'm just angry at feeling like anyone feels they're better than anyone, whatever side you think you're on or are
Mhm.
on, whatever. Like we're all human beings. We all need to be here, and I think I'm just angry for the stories that I've heard from other people. Um, I can very much relate to human beings, like just their pain. So I think I'm just in tune to that, and I think the anger is something that feels good to express, without caring what anyone thinks. And I think anybody who listens to it's going to get that. Like I'm allowed to be angry about whatever I'm angry about. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a fun time to be angry. That's how I feel like.
Yeah. Well,
So
this
enjoy
is
that song, enjoy that raw, like
Mhm.
burst of like just indignation, I guess.
Well, this
So
is this is where I'm at, and I haven't talked to a lot of people about this, but you're you, and I know you well. So I'm going to ask you, like, does it feel like it's in a time right now with music? And I don't understand this because I've had other bands tell me, and they're like, we don't really want to talk about what some stuff means because this side takes it this way, this side takes it this way, and it's like we feel like we can't really express ourselves. And music, regardless of the message, music has kind of always seemed like the one thing for a while where you listened and you enjoyed it.
Mhm.
You weren't trying to dive into every single lyric of like, well, what do they mean by this?
Yep,
Okay,
yep,
I don't like this point. I don't agree with this. So I'm gonna be angry about it.
yeah,
And the people
yeah,
angry it's like there's enough for politics in that. Sports talk got that way for a long time where it became very like angry and debating and everything else.
yeah.
And I feel like people are tearing apart music right now and it drives me nuts. Does it feel like for you as an artist that's kind of happening?
For us personally, no, only
Okay.
because we're very I mean, I see it, and I see what people have to say about anybody that they think is saying any opinion opposite of theirs.
Mhm.
People are very closed-minded. Some people become very closed-minded when it's about something they 100% wholeheartedly believe in. And something I was taught growing up was you got to keep even like that small seed of an open mind. You got to be able to hear other people. And I think that's really difficult right now. I think being able to speak your truth in any artistic fashion is very important for an artist. And whether or
Mhm.
not people agree doesn't really matter. We made a very conscious decision. We sat outside of Tomas's studio, which was really nice because he had a farm. He had his own, like you're on
Nice.
that property. So you're sitting outside, and we sat out there and we talked like very specifically about, do you want to make this about a particular thing? Because we all feel very strongly about like three different things. Do you want to do that? That's a conscious decision to become a very different type of band, and you can't go back from that. Or do you want to try to like access the emotion of other people? Like your anger is something they can identify with and relate to. And is that being like the easy way out? What's the
Mhm.
motive? So we were very thoughtful about what we did. The important thing for us was to capture our emotion on those tracks. And I think he did a great job of doing that. There's a lot of anger on this record for different reasons. You'll hear it in the different songs. Some of them are very obvious what they're about, and other ones you're like, I don't know. But I remember there's a song the very first time I listened to Sunday Bloody Sunday. I did not know what it was about. I didn't care what it was about. I felt that song. And
Mhm.
you know what? Like I still, or I'm sorry, it was not Sunday Bloody Sunday. It was Pride in the Name of Love. Still you too, same band. Um, and I love that's the period of you two I like. Like I don't even know what they do now, but like Pride in the Name of Love. I didn't even know. And it was very specific at the end
Mhm.
that it was about like the one thing part was about Martin Luther King. I didn't know that when I heard it. Like I honestly didn't, but I felt that song and I felt that like chorus. Now, if I whatever side, I mean, like now it's easy to say, but at that time period, was it easier to say to pick a side? This is a period of time. There's going to be 20 years from now, 40 years from now, and that song's going to still be out there. And my feeling is you don't have to like what we stand for or what we agree with or disagree with. We say how we feel on our own pages sometimes we don't, but I feel like the music itself is very clear in it's there's a line in So Holy that says, I'm not your sickness or resurrection, I'm not for you to use. Who can't identify with that? If I make
Mhm.
that about what I feel that what I wrote that about, or Travis makes it about what he feels that's about, doesn't that kind of alienate some of the people that can maybe hear that and just like let go for a minute? Like
Mhm.
that's what music gave me. So I mean that right now that's what I'm trying to do with, at least that's my conscious decision with this EP. Who will be from here on out, I don't know. I mean, we started writing our next album, but it kind of develops as you do it. I think what we have to do is just be honest and know we're honest with ourselves. You know what I mean? And whoever
Mhm.
takes it, like I think anytime an artist speaks about anything that's political or about a war or about like, there's enough going on in the world that you can like focus on something, but I think it also serves to alienate people and sometimes encourage that divide a little more. And I could be 100% wrong, but that's how I feel right now.
Mhm.
I feel very strongly about certain things, but you can listen to a Soraia song and not know what those things are. You know what I mean? If you really want to know, like,
Yeah.
you can ask, or you can go, I mean, my closest friends know me very well. And there's a part of me that wants to protect that part too. And still be honest with my music. So yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Like the music to me, that's what I never understood. Like, and I just feel like it's last couple of years, it's been like someone's like, "Oh, I don't like how this band is going out, and they're talking about this and blah 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 blah." It's like, well, I don't know. Just enjoy the music and listen
Yeah.
to it. There's so many examples that like I don't get it. Then create like every band I've ever talked to. I like to ask them, what do you like? And like I ask you, what do you want them to know about the song? You don't have to tell me what it means. You don't have to tell me what inspired it, but just what do you want to share? And so many bands just go, or this is what it means to me, but it could mean 100 things to 100 other people, and that's why we're doing it. And
Yeah,
it just
and why steal? I don't want to steal that from somebody if they enjoy the song. I mean, we definitely like there's this part of you too that goes like, I don't want to like not be who I am, but how much of who I am do I need to like, maybe I'm not sure where where that line is now, like between public and personal, but I know for me, like I know who I share my personal views with
Mhm.
and who knows them and who I'm safe to do that with. But I can still speak my mind in a song and speak my anger and my, there's a lot of injustice in the world. You got to be blind not to see it, but you don't have to listen to So Holy and decide that's what it's about. I heard, it really came from a conversation with a good friend of mine, John Michael, and the Idiot Kids, and he was going through something personal, and it started with that conversation, and I added my view of some things in the world on top of it, and then he sent me the idea a week later, or a couple weeks later, something like that. And I heard the riff, and I was like, let's do that song. Like, that's awesome. Like as soon as I heard the riff, I was done. It was
Yeah.
done. Like I was like, sometimes that happens. Somebody just sends a music idea. That Travis has the best, the highest hits with those, because it's like as soon as I hear a riff, I either like I go, I know what this song's about, or they
Mhm.
send a riff and a song idea, and that one was a clear decision. That was the first one written for this record, so it made sense to
Yeah.
put it out in the world first. What a great time to put it out too. It's
Yeah.
such a great song. And the funny thing is, John Michael kept saying like, you need to be angrier in your
You had
delivery.
direction. You had direction. You weren't just recording it like, "Hey, no, you need to be angry in this one."
Yeah, because I sent a demo to him. Me and Travis did a demo and sent it to him. And I just written the words and I sent him the words. And I was like, I'm really proud of these words. Like, yeah, but you need to be angrier. And I was like, I think I sound angry. He's like, no, angrier. I was like, okay. So we got the demo. I really love the demo even more than I shouldn't say more than the recorded version, but there's some magic in that demo we did that, you know, I interpreted a little differently by the time I got to the studio, but it's pretty gritty.
It is. That's what I like about it. So you mentioned the EP multiple times. I know you've got albums, you got EPs. When do you guys want to get the EP out here?
The EP is coming out September 12th.
Oh,
And
okay. All right.
yeah, and then we're going to release two more singles before that. I think one in May and then one in August.
Okay.
So it's two more of those. And then the album comes out September 12th. It's called Confessions from the Vina Cava.
Okay. I believe I okay. I remember this now. I just couldn't remember the date on it. I was like, I can't remember if she shared a date on this or not. So I'm going to leave this very open ended, and Zoo can tell me what she can tell me.
Yeah, I was just thinking when I told you the title of how I found that came up with the title. I was watching a game show at the gym. Anyway, that's a whole different story.
What game show? Well, what game show? I mean, you bring it. What game show are you watching?
It was like the one where what's that million? It's not on anymore, but you can call in or you can phone a friend or you
Oh,
can do
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
That's it. It was that
Okay.
one. And it was about what artery or what part of what artery or vein from the heart. And this is bad from science class. Deoxygenates the blood and brings it back to the heart, or it brings it to the heart and deoxygenates the blood. Anyway, basically the vena cava brings the oxygenated blood back to the body.
Okay.
So to me, it was like you're revealing your secrets. And like, so I was like, oh, like, so it was on that game show and they're like the vena cava. I'm like, let me look up the vena cava. So this is me on the treadmill. I'm like, let me look up the vena cava. And I did. And I was like, oh, this is a perfect metaphor for like the whole album.
How long ago was this? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire still on TV?
February of this year, maybe.
Oh,
March.
okay. This is recent. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like recent. Oh, very recently.
Yeah. So in the gym in the morning, there's always like syndicated shows. So it's like that or Friends or like somebody's got one of those helmet cams on skiing. It goes on a loop. It's like sometimes I'll watch that for like 30 minutes just on the treadmill running. So like I'm like, your brain has time to function. Kind of ashamed of myself.
Zone out time. I would zone out.
Yeah, I mean that's when the best ideas come, when you're really not paying attention, and all of a sudden you're like, the vena cava. That makes sense. That's the album title. And then I had to sell it to the band, which was a whole different. Yeah, that worked though.
But they got on board. They got on board though.
They did. I feel like I'm allowed. Like I like the titles of the EPs and the albums. I like we each have like a domain that we handle, and I'm like, I do the lyrics. I feel like the title. I see what each of the songs kind of goes together thematically. Let me do the titles. So I think only once or twice I've been where like I was like, you're right, maybe this isn't a great title. But most times everybody, once I explain why I do it, they understand. But it is a bit democratic in how we approach music, production, everything. So then sometimes I pull rank.
There you go. Sometimes every once in a while you gotta pull it just a little bit. Be like, all right,
Ryan, sometimes
executive decision
it's made, and you just gotta bring the hammer down.
I know you do. I know. Friday we have you on. Excuse me. Friday we have you on the Art Spotlights. We've got So Holy in rotation now. Question I have for you, because I try to think of something creative every time that you're on, and I've asked this a little bit. Yeah. It hasn't gone. I don't know if this question is hit the way I wanted it to, or if I'm not explaining it well enough. But obviously, like so many bands from when I was a teenager are doing like full albums in person, live. I saw Disturbed do it back in March, which was awesome. I'm gonna go see Papa Roach. They're doing most of Infest, which is sweet. If you could choose like any band to play an album in its entirety, which one would you go with?
You know what? I actually know this because I just saw somebody post something on their page on, I think it was Facebook. And I was like, oh my God, if you ever heard Queensryche's 1987 album, Operation Mindcrime, that's the album I'd love to hear live in its entirety. Okay. I would like somebody to act it out. I would like to see a Broadway play about Operation Mindcrime. Okay, it's about
you're taking it a step further. You've taken this.
Oh my God! You know what? I forgot about this album that it even existed, and somebody posted. It was one friend of mine on Facebook, and it was somebody posted the. I think it was from Mindcrime. It was I Don't Believe in Love, but the whole album is a story. Mm-hmm. And it's a phenomenal story. It's basically about this priest who like takes this drug addicted woman, Mary, and she becomes a nun, and he takes her on the altar like a sacrifice. That's one of the lines. And this guy's in love with her, but he loses his mind. It's almost very like Pink Floyd The Wall, but different. You know what I mean? It's a fantastic album. Lyrically, like it's probably my favorite piece of my favorite album of all time lyrically. And I forgot how much I love that whole record. There's such good songs that record. Jeff Tate, I don't know if he's still playing or not, but he is an amazing vocalist. Is he? I think he is still
I think
playing, but
he's back doing some stuff. He's working on, I think, Operation Mindcrime 3. I saw a headline that he wants to put another Operation Mindcrime album out, I believe.
listen, that album is, have you ever heard it?
Been a long time. I know I've heard, we used to play, I think back a couple of stations I used to be on. I know we had multiple tracks from the album. So at some point I probably heard it all the way through, but it's been a very, very long time.
It's an old album, but it holds up. And I think it also, the musicians are phenomenal. The songs are really amazing. I'm a big fan. Like, I probably listened to it for like 2 or 3 days straight after I saw that video on Facebook. And I was like, I forgot how amazing this record is. Like, I never owned it. Like, I never owned it. It was somebody I was dating, like, listened to it or turned me on to them. And I heard a few of their other songs, but that's the album.
All right.
I know I've been repetitive,
Good.
but I just refound it and I'm very excited about it.
No, that's fine. This is perfect timing for me to ask this, because I'm like, when people are coming on again, like there's some questions I've already asked people before they've come on for the first time. I'm like, I kind of want something else to get all of your minds going a little bit and some creative stuff and whatnot. So again, So Holy this Friday morning, 8:30, 9:30 for you out on the East Coast. In rotation now here on QLZ. And Zoo, I know that you do a whole lot of stuff on social media. Where can everybody follow you guys on socials and stay up to date with everything you're doing?
Pretty much everything is at Soraia Rocks. It's SORAIA ROCKS. Soraia.com is our site. And we actually have a site just for the record. We just started a blog entry for confessionsfromthevinacava.com. And then that's it. I think we're on everything as Soraia Rocks, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, all those things. Spotify.
I found you. Well, you and I've talked enough now. I pretty much know where you guys are at for everything. So stay up to date, Zoo. It's good to see you. Appreciate you coming on, and looking forward to hearing more from you.
All right, thank you, Ryan.